All right, boys, here we are at the Asus booth at CES 2024, and we are going to go over there and take a look at their displays. All right, boys, now this is the one that you guys all want to see, the 480 hertz OLED. And I get to not play with it, I get to fiddle with it. Because, well, I asked them if I could actually install some games, and not on the cards today. Now let's just start by talking about the screen brightness in Windows here. And I will say that this is usable. It is. This is probably the first OLED that I've seen in person where I would feel comfortable using this on a daily basis. You guys know me, I like my brightness. Now, when it comes to the brightness, though, I did ask them about the warranty, the burn-in, et cetera, et cetera. It's a 2-year warranty, includes burn-in. It also includes, I don't know what they call it, it's some kind of black pixel or dead pixel warranty on top of that. And if you actually go to the Asus support website and you go to the display that you have and you scroll down, it will actually say how many dead pixels are acceptable after a certain amount of time. And if yours falls beyond that, you can actually request an RMA. So that's thumbs up for me. Now, the only barometer that I have to actually test this thing is the mouse cursor shadowing / ghosting on a white background. Now, I mean, this is super subjective for me, but I would say this is probably the fastest screen that I've seen. Just, I mean, you know what I mean. From a mouse cursor perspective. Now, other than refresh rate, screen brightness, warranty, etc., the only other thing that we can kind of talk about, actually, maybe I'll move the camera forward so you guys can see it, is text clarity on an OLED screen. They said that this is a third generation LG panel that they were talking about, and he was saying that the second generation and the first generation OLEDs kind of had a C grade text on it, and this is kind of upgraded to a B grade. Here, let me move the camera forward. So yeah, zooming in on the text here, you can tell that the bigger text up here, quite clear, no problems whatsoever. But when you get down to the really fine fonts down here, I can see it. I'm not sure if you guys can see it on the camera, but I can kind of see the OLED problems on really like the L's here by the all, A-L-L, all. I can kind of see, I don't know what we call it, kind of color shimmering around the L itself, right? So it's not perfect. I mean, this is a gaming display. You wouldn't be using this in some kind of like Excel spreadsheet office environment, right? You can, but I mean, if you're looking at spreadsheets all day, this is not going to be for you. It's going to be more for gaming, obviously. Now, I don't know if there's actually any value in recording the UFO part, but I will try and use the 240 hertz mode on my phone. Slow-mo. And then maybe I'll edit that after and try and get it in for you guys. Yeah, I have no idea if this is working, but we're going to see. This is 240 hertz mode right now on my iPhone 15 Pro. All right. Okay, so this one might even be more useless for you guys in terms of what you can see and what you can't see. But this monitor is the first one that they're going to introduce, like the LG, what did he say? The third generation panel. This is the first one that's actually going to support black frame insertion. And then I asked him, I was like, well, what refresh rates does that support? He said he couldn't tell me because it's a prototype. But we do have a 240 hertz display here, or I should say a 240 FPS display. The top one here is without black frame insertion, and the bottom one is with black frame insertion. So let me get out my iPhone 15 here, and maybe we'll try slow-mo mode, and then you might be able to see it. I don't know how well my phone's going to capture it. So you can see the bottom ghost is way clearer. You can see kind of, if you look at the little white dots on the spaceship on the bottom alien, those white dots are separated from each other as the UFO goes across the screen, and the top one, they're all kind of blurred together, right? So that's how you can tell. This is definitely more for really high, fast-paced Overwatch style gaming, right? So other than that, I don't think I missed anything. Launch kind of, I asked him when the launch is going to happen. He said about Q2-ish 2024. So try and look for this come summertime. And I definitely will be buying it for myself. And I will be reviewing it on this channel. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. Oh, I also asked one negative on this screen. I did ask them if it does have a 25-inch mode, 1330p. And it does not. I know. So for us 25-inch gamers, I don't know. Wait for the review. Wait till I review it. Okay, so this one here, now there are two versions of this one coming out. There is the LG third generation panel and the Samsung panel. Now, the Samsung panel, I got the parts number here actually. There's the UCDM, which is the Samsung panel. That one is coming out this month. And that one goes to 1,000 nits of brightness, and it does not have the dual mode. Now, this one here, this is the UCDP version, and this one does have the dual mode. Now, I asked, so the dual mode being 1080p 480 hertz or 4K 240 hertz. And then I did ask JJ if it has a 1440p 360 hertz mode. It does not, unfortunately. So for you 1440p gamers, the other one's going to be the better option. Now, other than that, everything is the same as we talked about before with the other one. Same 2-year warranty, same nits of brightness, and black frame insertion. Now, one thing I didn't mention is with this new generation of monitors coming out, Asus is releasing some kind of, what is this? Display widget center. Basically what, hey, the PC just froze. Oh no, there it is. And basically what this is you don't have to go into the OSD of the monitor to make changes like brightness, turn on BFI. Let's see. Can you change the resolution here? Brightness, contrast, shadow boost, saturation hue. I'm not sure if you can actually change it. The resolution. But basically the idea here is, let's say you're playing COD or Warzone or Overwatch, for example. You can set different profiles for different games for your monitor in this widget. So let's say you're doing Call of Duty and you're fighting some rose skins or whatever. Now you can do black, you can set, what's it called? Shadow boost. You max out the shadow boost, you max out the contrast, you're playing COD. And then you set the different profiles for the different games, you launch it. Now, I asked, for this feature, I did ask, the changes that you make, do they save to the monitor? And the answer is no. So, it'll be kind of funky. So, when you restart the PC, it will revert back to its settings that you put in the OSD. And then when Windows actually comes up and posts, and then the widget launches, it'll change everything back to how you had it before. So it might look kind of funky going from like SDR to HDR as Windows launches, you know what I mean? So honestly, for our purposes, even though the screen does have the dual mode, I can't see any value in full HD 480 hertz on a 32-inch screen, right? So if I were to buy this thing, I would consider it only as a 4K 240 hertz OLED. But on that note, though, as a 4K 240 hertz OLED screen, this one does have the brightest picture, the 1300 nits. It's not really 1300 nits, that's marketing material, but it's the brightest OLED that I've seen. Okay, so this is kind of the only graphics card that's interesting at the booth for me personally, because this one here is the 4090, I guess it's a Strix. Does it say Strix? It does, yeah. 4090 Strix BTF edition, and then basically what BTF means, I'm not sure what the acronym actually stands for, but that's their cordless models, right? So if you actually take a look here, like you wouldn't be able to use this graphics card unless you're using a BTF motherboard and a BTF system, BTF compatible case, right? So see here, the power comes through the Actually, I can't even say it's a PCI connector. It's a separate, it's one board, but here's the PCI, here's the board, and then this is the original PCIe power connector right here, right? So let me zoom in here so you guys can see. Check this out. Yeah, check that out. So all the power, I don't know how they did it exactly. You can tell these two planes right here are for ground because they're just solid, giant pieces of copper, right? And I'm assuming it has a 600 watt TDP. Yeah, so the power connector here for the 12 pin is gone, right? It's just totally MIA. So all 600 watts are coming through this BTF connector here. So that's super cool. I really, really, really like that. So the unfortunate thing here is, I guess the downside would be if you do buy this one, you're pretty much stuck using a BTF proprietary system. Like you wouldn't be able to resell this graphics card to a person that doesn't have a BTF system, right? So that's a choice the customer has to make, right? So if you were doing an all BTF system, it looks pretty sick. They have one here. Let me show you. So here, just bear with me, guys. It's super busy here, so the camera angles are kind of all over the place. But, so here is their BTF system, right? So the only kind of hoses you can see are these two here. It's a BTF Hero motherboard as well, so all the power connectors go through the back, and then the case is also BTF compatible, right? So basically, if you were looking to do something like this, if you check out the product card here, everything at the end of it has BTF, BTF, BTF. So, except for the power supply, obviously. But as long as you keep everything within the BTF ecosystem, they all will work together. But so if you wanted to, let's say a 5090 comes out and you wanted to upgrade to that, you would have to buy a 5090 BTF. I guess you don't have to. You don't have to use the power connector, but you would have to resell the 4090 BTF to another BTF consumer, or you have to sell the entire build as is. So this is definitely might be more of a showpiece type situation, but for anyone that is interested in something like that, it's there. It is cool. You can go fully cordless, fully cableless. There's not a single cable in this entire thing, right? It's pretty neat. I thought it's a neat concept. Now, if they, just a different aside here, if they can somehow standardize this connector over here so all manufacturers use it, I think we would have a much more viable... Oh, you're good. Go ahead. Yeah. We would have a much more viable kind of ecosystem here, I want to say. Actually, I just thought about it too, but if you had 12-volt high power anxiety, this is also a solution for you because there's no 12-volt high power to melt, right? And if this thing does melt, that's 100% on Asus too. So I can't actually find the footage of me saying goodbye at the Asus booth. Hi, sorry to interrupt your nap. So instead of saying bye to Asus, we're gonna say hello to Leela. Look, we're back. We're back home. Hi, kitty. Aw, she's so annoyed. Sorry, kitty. I'm just so happy to see you. Hi, baby. And if you like the content, hit that subscribe button. Do all that YouTube SEO stuff. Like, share, subscribe. Comment down below about how beautiful my kitty is. Look at that. Look at that foot pressure. Look at that. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Talk to you later. Also, thanks Asus for inviting me into your booth. That was awesome. Talk to you later. Shadow boost. You max out the shadow boost, you max out the contrast, you're playing COD. So honestly, for our purposes, even though it does have the dual mode,